welcome to the Acoustic Guitar Guide to the Blues. My name's Orville Johnson. I'm a contributing writer to Acoustic Guitar Magazine. I'm glad you stopped by today. And in this lesson, we're going to be talking about bending strings and blue notes. So let's get started with an idea about the proper way to bend a string, because I'll tell you, a lot of times when I show people how to do this, I'll ask them to bend a string, and this is what they do. They put one finger on a string and then try to kind of push it around. And that's about the hardest way to do this. The way to do it that gives you a lot more control over the whole thing is by putting, I use my ring finger as sort of my lead finger when I'm bending notes. So I'll put that on, say, the second string at the 10th fret. We'll put our ring finger on that A note, and then put your other fingers, your middle and your index, down on that same string so that you have 3 fingers on the string. And then make sure that your thumb, which a lot of times when you play guitar, you want your thumb to be behind the neck, pushing against the neck. When you're bending strings, you want your thumb to come up over the neck so that you get a motion in your hand that's kind of a squeezing or gripping motion. So if I get my 3 fingers on that string, have my thumb coming over this side of the neck, and then just squeeze, I can really push that string a long way. So start out just by trying to move it a half step. So in order to make sure, once again, you want to always try to be playing in tune. So one way to educate your ear to the notes that you're trying to bend to is to fret them first. So for instance, I want to bend this A up a half step to B flat. So before I bend it, I sound my A, then I sound my B flat. So I get the sound in my ear of where I'm trying to go to. So my goal is to go directly to the note rather than passing it by. Then do the same thing with a whole step. So we're going to try to bend that from A to B. And then just for kicks, see if you can make it go a step and a half from here. Okay, that's probably as far as you're going to be able to get it to go on an acoustic guitar with the thick strings that we usually use on acoustic guitar. Now, if you play electric guitar, typically you'd be using thinner strings, and it might be easier to get that string to go a step and a half, or maybe even a couple of steps. But if you can make it go a step and a half on your acoustic guitar, you're doing great. So most of your bends will be more half step, whole step. So let's take a look at let's incorporate this into a couple of licks that we can use. So the first one that we're going to look at, which is example 2 in your literature, is this. Let me play it for you and then I'll break it down. So what I'm doing is I've got my index finger on the 8th fret. I've got my ring finger on the 10th fret. I'm going to push this string up a whole step, and then I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to keep that note pushed. I'm going to move my index finger over to the first string, play it at 8. Then with my little finger, I'm going to play first string at 10. Then I'm going to do what is called a drop bend. This string that I've got pushed up still, I'm going to pick and let it come back down. And then I'm going to finish the lick by picking up my ring and my middle finger and playing that G note at the 8th fret of the 2nd string with my index finger. So work on that lick a little bit.